This ain't no game, this that CSZ game. They said pull up, so I came. You better put some respect on their name. Yeah, 55 was goody. Kill the vibe, how could he? Big Cardinal on the hoodie. Let me break it down for you fully. This ain't your average broadcast. This ain't just no podcast. All the shows spread fake news. We just call it podcast. West, Joey, Sam, Shawn, Dalton. And you know that boy hit you. He said he wants small fries. Tell him they better make him big. Yeah, you already know what we be on.
You got Jordy. There he goes. This place is gone.
If we set it instead of the zone, sit in the seat and set up your phone. You in the Cardinal Sports Zone.
Straight steal of home. The slide. The Cards win.
The magic is working tonight. How do you know when things are...
The emotional journey to the championship.
What is up, everybody? Coming to you live from the Rally House Studios. This is the Cardinal Sports Zone podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy Wyman. Here are my co-hosts for the day. I'm starting to think that turning the air off was a mistake. We either get too hot in this room, guys, or too cold. Our women's basketball beat writer, Louisville football beat writer, as I like to call him, on time, is Sam Bazin.
What up? What up?
Next to him, some people would call him the abominable no man. I call him my friend. It's Shawn Barber.
How's it going, folks?
And last but not least, he is the comic relief. He is, there's really nothing else. I couldn't put into words what he is. It is the little big brother, Joe Woman.
Acknowledge me.
Why do y'all do that every time? Shout out to our guys, Wes and Higgy, that didn't join in on time. We appreciate it. Gives us more time to talk. So, Shawn, can you hit that middle? So, them, respectfully. Look, we're going to have a good show for you today. Don't forget the Mossy Oak chat line is open. If you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or however, send us your questions on social media. Check on the graphic below to see how you can follow the Cardinal Sports Zone podcast on social media and how you can help support monetarily. Do not forget the latest way that you can do that, which is the YouTube subscriptions. And thank you to all those that have joined within the last couple of weeks. We appreciate it. Helps pay the, restream and the Buzzsprout and stuff like that. So we really do appreciate you all supporting the squad. So go to youtube.com, search for the Cardinal Sports Zone podcast. It should be at Cardinal Sports Zone. We have an old one out there that I cannot get taken down. Well, I don't want it to be taken down because it's got a lot of our pre-93.9 stuff, our Sugar Bowl when we were there live doing the Sugar Bowl and stuff like that. So make sure you're on the right one. It'll be the one that's got the podcast on it. One of them does, one of them don't. Hit that thumbs up button while you're here on YouTube. Make sure you're watching on YouTube if you can. It'll help us out more with sponsors. Speaking of sponsors, shout out to all of our fine sponsors: Fitness Market, Four-Pex, Collision Course Crew, Tailgaters, Cherry Pick and Shoot 360, Mossy Oak, Planet Fitness, and Rally House. And speaking of our sponsors, let's go to the Four-Pex chat line really quick. Mighty Jinx, good day, fellas. How long do we wait till our bowl game is announced? Thank you, and go Cards. Anthony Easton says, what's up, fellas? What's up, Anthony? Yeah, that's kind of why I wanted to leave the TV on the other screen so we could see what was going on with that. But we'll make sure we get that information to you as we can. I think Joey's going to pull it up on his phone.
I was about to pull the Steelers game up on my phone.
I was about to put the Steelers game. You know what? I'm taking this.
Too many things going on at
Too
once.
many. So give me a second, guys. I apologize for this. We're going to take this off of this won't affect you all that are not in the studio with us. So bear with us. Shawn, sing some elevator music.
Do, 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 do.
And that's why you've not do anything. It's easy because you're beautiful. Okay, so then you pull up the college football thing on your phone, and we'll put.
I'm looking at it now.
All right. Oh, good. We're not down yet. College football playoff was just announced, and let me get this pulled up and on our screen, which nobody else can see because we're watching the Steeler game. This is what we want to see here. Pull it up on the screen with us. All right, as you all cannot see, It was already pulled up, and it's got us pushed over to the side. College football playoff bracket was announced, as you all that are watching the show can see. First round, Clemson, Texas, Tennessee, Ohio State, SMU, Penn State, Indiana, Notre Dame, with the 4 bye getters being Georgia, Boise State, Oregon, and Arizona State. 3 U of L opponents are in. SMU in. We all cheered really loudly when SMU made that last spot. So let's go to Sam first, and I want you to just I want you all to give me 2 teams each. Which 2 teams are not in it that should be in it? And if it's none, or if it's just one, just give me none or one.
Which 2 teams are none? Everybody's in there.
You think this is a perfect bracket?
When you say, I think all 12 teams are correct. In terms of how the seeding is, I don't agree with the seeding, but I think all 12 teams that are in deserve to be in.
Okay, fair enough. Shawn?
I actually agree with him. Just because Alabama, to me, doesn't have an argument. You got 3 losses. Miami, they would have had an argument had they not lost to Syracuse. But when they lost
Syracuse is a top 25 team.
True, but to me, I just think they got it right. They rewarded the people that deserve to be rewarded.
Okay, Joey, I'm going to let you take next crack at this because I believe that you probably agree with me. But I'm not going to.
Arizona State shouldn't be in.
I agree with that.
Arizona State shouldn't be in. We should be rewarding the men and women of our armed forces.
I was just going to ask you why.
Army should be in over them.
Why is that?
Arizona State lost to Cincinnati.
So the rule is set.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
They sat themselves way back then. They should not be in. That should disqualify you from postseason contention as soon as that clock reaches 0, semicolon or colon, whichever one. I never can remember which one's which. ... 00. But all joking aside, I still don't think necessarily that Arizona State. I don't know. It's hard to say, man. Like Clemson, I hope they lose first round.
Wow.
Yeah, I hope they lose first round, and I don't necessarily believe that they're one of the 12 best teams. I think Miami is better than them. I definitely think Miami is better than them. I still don't think Alabama should be in. They lost to Vanderbilt.
Sack.
That even though Vanderbilt had a much better season this year, they're still Vanderbilt. That's like us. I equivalent that to us losing to Stanford. Vanderbilt in UK, you lose to them in football, like you shouldn't be in playoff contention. To be honest with you, that's probably why Ole Miss wasn't even on the board, because they lost. But Alabama was up there. Alabama was up there because they're Alabama,
Right?
Brand name. That's why. Their 3 losses, you're out.
So Joey kind of combined the first 2 questions into one, and we're going to get a nice return on this all the way down to the 35. So I'll go with who was snubbed. I think that you could make a case that Miami was snubbed and then Army was snubbed. I do, but if you're going to reward a team like Indiana, who didn't have a big win all season, Army played really. Who was Army? Do you know who Army's loss was to?
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
So they lost to somebody in the playoff. That should help. To circle around to the second question, who's in that shouldn't be in? Arizona State shouldn't be in. I would put. So the second one may surprise you all. It may not. I'm going to say Army in, Miami in, Arizona State out, Indiana out. I don't think Indiana beat anybody this year that deserves them. I just don't think the nice run. I don't think the Big Ten deserved 4 teams in this year. They got 4.
I agree.
They got 4 in. The SEC got 3 in, and the ACC got 2. And then you had Boise and Arizona State and Notre Dame that completed the rest of the 12-team bracket. I want you all also on the chat line. Give me who you all think while I'm circling around to the guys on who should or shouldn't be in. Fabian says, "What's up, everybody?" Charles says Army should be in. Absolutely. Dwayne says, "What's good, Cardinal family?" it's just so nice to have a competent offense. So Joey, since you already answered the who's in that shouldn't be in, Shawn, who do you think is in that shouldn't be in?
As I said.
So you and Sam are going to be like,
Yeah.
this is perfect the way it is.
Yeah.
Arizona State can compete with any team in the top 12.
No, I didn't say.
If it's a
conference,
Sam,
No,
if it's a perfect draft, but we're not saying that's not the argument. Like we're saying, is this a perfect 12-team bracket?
the bracket's not perfect.
Okay.
The 12 teams are deserving to be in the top 12.
Yeah, I don't think number 12 can beat number 1. Don't get me twisted on that. I don't think every team.
Do you think Army could beat Arizona State?
I think Army could probably hang with Arizona State.
And they were a top 5. They should have been a power a top 5. It's not power conference. It's the top 5 conference champions. So
I think there's only probably 3 or 4 teams that legitimately can win this whole thing. But that doesn't mean anything, because as the season goes along with some of these losses that we've seen some of these teams have, other than Oregon, they're the only one who hasn't lost one. A loss can happen. So that's the beauty of it, right? That's the beauty of it. You let more teams have a chance at it. But yeah, it's apples and oranges to a point. Like, you could put Army in and they could get blown out first round, or Arizona State could get blown out their first game in the quarterfinals. But again, it's kind of like what we were saying, rewarding teams for what they did all season. And that's why SMU belongs in there, because they want, regular season, they were the best team in the ACC.
Yes.
They lost in a conference championship game with a walk-off field goal. So should that disqualify them? And that's why the committee even decided that no, they shouldn't. But I'm just anxious to see the game start.
I think it'll be fun. I think it lasts way too
Absolutely.
long. It starts December 20th, ends in when?
It almost January 20th, but it has to. It's football, man. Like, it's not like basketball.
I know you got to give the athletes time to rest.
Yeah, to recover and stuff like that.
So we got the 2 perfect brackets over here. So let's do something a little bit different while we're waiting for people to give their who was snubbed, who's in that shouldn't be in. I actually think 10 of the 12 teams could win this thing. I think this is this year in college football, and I know you all know the 2 teams I don't think have a chance. It's Arizona State and Indiana. I think any of the other teams could win. Well, you know what? I'm not really sure Boise State could win the whole thing, but I've also not watched. I'm trying not to be very biased on them because I haven't watched them a whole lot. So let's go through and let's make the bracket. Shawn, Clemson versus Texas.
I'm going to go Texas.
Clemson at Texas, yeah.
At Texas. Does anybody disagree with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
As much as I hate to say it, that game yesterday, the game last night against SMU, if you'd asked me before that, I would have said Texas by 30. But I watched both games yesterday, and I seen how Texas imploded against Georgia. And Georgia's not even though Georgia blew out Clemson the first game of the season, they're 2 totally different teams at this point. They lost to Georgia's backup.
Okay.
Their starter didn't have the lead for them.
No.
It was their backup.
Here's another
So
thing.
I think Clemson could win. And at this point, we just all know how it goes. You know how the college football, Clemson probably wins that game.
Really?
Yeah, Clemson probably wins this game.
Did they get the ACC refs?
I hope so.
Because if it's the way it works in regular season,
Just
your
don't give
refs
them
are-
an SEC ref.
The home team, no, the away team gets the ref.
Yeah.
So then they should get ACC refs.
Do each of y'all let's do this the easier way, because that's going to take way too long. Do each of you all have the bracket in front of them?
I can get it real quick and fast.
Okay. I'm going to ask y'all instead, who are your final 4? Who's your national champion? I think that'd be a whole lot easier. I'm going to go to the chat line real quick while y'all are pulling that up. Anthony says Miami should have been in over Indiana. I agree. Charles says, so far I agree with everything you said, Jeremy. End of story. Hey, I love that. Anthony says, can't stand Clemson, but you could argue they should have gotten the 4 seed over Arizona State. You could have, because Arizona State was I think weren't they? What were they ranked in the poll?
Well,
Notre Dame 5th.
No. Arizona State.
I think it's 15 or 16.
No, they finished ranked. They finished with a ranking of 12, I believe. They moved them all the way up to 12. They would have
Okay.
been in either way.
Okay,
Like,
so
they
yes,
were-
I could argue, and we'll talk about that in a little bit because that irks me too. I would also switch Clemson and Arizona State in this graphic, but we'll talk about that later. That's in a different part of what we were going to talk about. All right, everybody got the brackets up?
Yeah, I got my Final Four.
All right. I'll go first just because I've let y'all go first. I'm gonna go Clemson, Tennessee, SMU, and Notre Dame.
Okay.
And then
I agree with 2 of them.
I've got Notre Dame winning the national championship. Shawn,
Uh,
your Final Four?
I got Georgia, Boise, Texas, and I'm going with Oregon just because of Will Stein. So that's
So
my
Shawn tried to go chalk on us.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Sam?
So I'm
Oh, wait a minute. Who's winning the championship?
Oh, who's winning? The final game, I have Oregon and Boise. Yeah, I got them beating Georgia, and I got Oregon winning it.
Wow, Shawn went out on a limb for us there, and not like a regular limb, like Georgia's quarterback's limb that got pulled back behind him last
I don't
night.
know, man. The
His arm.
backup might be better. Let's be honest. Carson Beck hasn't been great this year.
Well, they lead the nation in drop passes as well, so can't put it all on Carson Beck.
Joe, your Final Four.
I'm going Clemson. Beat Texas, and then they're going to have more of a home game in the second round in the Peach Bowl against Arizona State. So we all know Clemson, is going to pack that stadium. It's going to be a home game for them. I got Tennessee beating Ohio State, Oregon beating Tennessee, so Oregon's in the Final Four. SMU versus Boise, I'm taking SMU. And Notre Dame. So
you agree with 3 of the 4?
did you say SMU?
I said, yeah.
Oh, I thought you said somebody else there.
No.
Okay. Well, then, yeah, I agree with 3 of the 4, whatever.
It doesn't happen very often. A championship game.
Oh, let's see. SMU versus Notre Dame. Yeah, I say Notre Dame and Oregon. And I'm going to say Oregon as well. I just think they're the best. I think they're the best team, most complete team. And it's not. I think it'll be a close game. I think it'll be a really close game, but I think Oregon will probably pull it out. 16-0, is that what they would finish?
Shawn, we'll tell you later
Think
what
so.
pulling it out means.
Yeah, 16-0. Be the first 16-0 team in college football history.
Look, unless you play on the NCAA, which I'm 16-0 every year. Not trying to brag, but whatever. Sam, who's your Final Four? Let me guess: Arizona State, Tennessee, Penn State, and IU.
Texas, Oregon, Penn State, Georgia.
Ugh.
Okay, who are your title game representatives?
Georgia and Oregon, and I'm going Oregon.
I swear.
I just don't see how Georgia makes it.
I don't think they do. They're not very good offensively.
Well, their defense.
Not you.
Their defense is where they struggle the most. Like ETN being back, and then their backup running back that played while he was out. They both come. If they run the ball, if they commit to just run the ball on teams, then I think they got a better shot at winning, because they're going to have to limit the other team's possessions, because they are thin on defense this year. They're not the prototypical Georgia defense.
You got to look up the matchup, though. I do think Notre Dame beats Indiana, and Notre Dame loves to run the quarterback. And Georgia's front seven is as good as anyone. First string is as good as anyone in the playoffs, and they're really good. They're really fast. So I think they will be able to shut down or make it hard for the quarterback run game to have any success, and that's what Notre Dame thrives on. So that is just matchups. I think Notre Dame is a bad. Georgia is a Notre Dame does not match up well when it comes to Georgia with on defense, what they want to do.
Man, that could have really been dangerous on our part. I just sat here and looked in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen share. There's a GIF and an ad for something. Thank goodness it wasn't a bad ad or
That was the
anything.
one thing you were asking about a couple weeks ago.
That didn't happen. Never occurred. Let's go ahead and stop sharing that really quick and get back to the show. All right, who we got? Oh, Garrett says Sam's still in mourning over Miami not making it.
No, they should not have lost to Syracuse.
It's true.
I get Syracuse is top 25 team, but they should not have lost. They
Better to lose to Syracuse than Cincinnati, though. Am I right?
Yeah.
Am I right?
100%.
If you lose to Syracuse or to Cincinnati, you should be disqualified.
All right, final question before we slide on over to segment 2. And I'm going to go for he caught that. I'm gonna lead this one off. What would you change as far as how the current college football playoff bracket is concerned? For me, I would eliminate the requirement for it to be a conference champion. I think that the highest ranked teams, I think that'll lead to more exciting matchups, because you've got in the one bracket, you've got basically Texas, by all means, has a cakewalk to the Final Four. If Clemson and Arizona State are who that we think they are. So right. I don't think that it's seated appropriately. I think that being a conference champion means one of the top 5 conference champions means you should be in. I don't think it means you should have a bye. Now, at that point, we'll probably be like, what? Why has the Big Ten got 3 of the first 4 seeds, or why? There'll always be a complaint. And I know they created it this way to kind of take that away. And we're losing Joey on the camera. He moved backwards or forwards or something. Who knows? We got him. But that's what I would do. I would eliminate the conference champions, get a bye. There's one other thing. Oh, the 5th conference champion. If it's 5 that get in, the 5th one should get a home game.
Yeah,
like we were talking about before the show. That Texas Clemson, is it Texas and Clemson?
Yeah,
that should be in South Carolina, not in Texas, not in Austin.
Well, my thing is you just reseed the teams. Like, if you're going to get all 5 conference champions get in, and the top 4 are automatically the top 4 seeds, the 5th conference champion should be the 5 seed.
Yeah,
and get a home game in the first round, and that would mean that SMU would be the 12 seed. It would have been SMU and Clemson possibly. You just reseed the teams. But if that's how you're going to do it, I don't necessarily. I'm with you. I think, all right, if you're going to say the top 5 conference champions get in, seed them how they should be seeded. Because realistically, should Boise and Arizona State be in the top 4? They shouldn't. They shouldn't be. That just forces other matchups in the first round, which is probably by design. They want those bigger matchups in the first round so they can get people bought in, interested, watching. They're going to watch anyway.
Do you know what I think would be best for college football? Before I ask Sam and Shawn what they would change. There are roughly, I believe, 8 conferences that have a championship game, I believe. You want to make the postseason mean more? Not just the playoff, but the bowl games mean more too. You put in the 8 conference champions. Now, yes, I understand that means a team like Memphis gets in. Do they have any business being there? Probably not. But that makes their conference, and you may start to see some of these teams, instead of piling up into one league, shift off into the other leagues and stuff. And so you have the 8 conference champions, you have 8 at large, and you just do a 16-team tournament. And if you're not one of the best 8 at large teams, you don't deserve to be in the daggone thing anyway.
There's not more than 8 teams that aren't conference champions that have a legitimate shot at it.
You know what that could do? It'll force it'll take away some of those early season matchups that we like to see, like the ranked versus the ranked. Because if it's only 12 teams and 8 goes to the conference championship, that means the other 4 teams have to be highly ranked, which means I'm gonna probably go to a lesser schedule so that I can be higher ranked at the end of the season if I don't win my conference championship. So now
It makes the season mean more.
for the other conferences,
Mm.
but it takes, like, when you have those early season matchups, like I think we have Georgia in a couple of years. Louisville won't play Georgia now because I don't want to take that loss.
But
That
what
I
was
don't
that
have
any
to.
different than before? They didn't play those games when it was a 14 playoff, or it was
yes,
just
they
1 and 2.
Yeah, they
They didn't do it then either. So like we had 1 year of it,
but they
like,
started doing it though.
1 year.
No, it was more than the 1
No,
year.
not really, because last year in the previous 6 or 7 years, it was the 14 playoff, right? And you still had to make sure that you were all the way up here in order to have a chance. So you may have had 1 or 2, but here's the thing: those non-conference games, you're talking about 3 non-conference games. Like that's not going to change that much anyway.
Well, depending on what we have 4.
Well, but for typically you have like 3 to 4, whatever.
Yeah.
We have one that is the same one every year, so that's why I said 3 non-conference games. One of ours is the same every year. One of Clemson and South Carolina play every year, because it's a rivalry game. Most teams have an out-of-conference rivalry game, so you're not really changing that much anyway. I wouldn't mind that. The first round, it doesn't matter. You take the 8 conference champions, you take the 8 at large, rank them 1 through 16. First, the top 8 get first round home games like they're doing with this. And then you go into your bowl matchups where Rose Bowl, blah, blah, blah. And you're still outside of the top 8. Look, for the most part, do we think how many teams have a legit shot at it, right? I mean, and now,
In
with this many
year,
extra games,
Yeah.
you got to worry about injuries in these bowl games that could change the outlook and the complexion. If running back for Team A goes out, does Team A have any shot anymore? I'm not saying any names or teams because I don't want to jinx nobody. I don't want to be the reason why somebody.
Well, like Florida State went out last year. They only were not in the playoff.
Let's reference that last year because it already happened.
Right.
But that has to be taken into consideration. Especially going like, and I to a point last year I didn't disagree with that because that team is not that team without that player.
True.
So yes, it kind of sucks for the other 100 kids on the team and the coaches and this, that, and other that you had this full complete season like this, but then the one player that's the one player that got you there because look at it this year. You went from 12-1 to 1-12. I think
10-2 to 2-10. You were close.
Yeah, something like that.
It was very close. Anything that we haven't already discussed that you would change, Shawn?
I don't know how you would do it, but I think the people that get buys or teams that get buys should get home games. I think they should not have to play at a bowl.
So you're saying that the first round game should be home games, and then in turn the second round game should all be home games too, because you got to buy. You should get rewarded with the home game.
You should get rewarded because that's money in their pockets.
Okay. Yeah.
And then the final.
I have heard that on there. They're talking about like the second round games. You kind of lose money.
Yeah.
You lose money because you gotta buy. You don't have to play that first round, but you don't get any of that home game revenue.
Look at like, even though
that'll change next year.
Even though people disagree that Arizona State should be in, Arizona State, if they play Clemson, that's going to be a home game for Clemson. They're going to have all them people there, and they're the higher ranked team. How's that technically fair? Is all I'm saying.
Well, just like in the NCAA tournament, they've got the pod systems and try to figure that out. Sam, anything you would change that we haven't already mentioned?
No. It's just
you wouldn't change any. I forgot. You said it was a perfect bracket.
No, I did not say it was a perfect bracket. No, just the seeding of it, because I agree with, like Joey said, Clemson should have been the 5th ranked team, and since they're not, since they were the conference champions, they should be 5th, and they should have a home game. That way, when you go through the 1 versus 8, you get 4 versus 5. So now you get the 2 lowest conference championship teams. They're essentially, if it plays out, they would play each other.
Now, let me clarify what I'm saying. In the current setup, I don't think that Boise and Arizona State or Clemson should be in the top 5.
Right. Yeah, we agree on that.
Theoretically, I would probably put all 3 of them in some form or fashion, 12, 11, and 10. I would have put them all 3 at the very back end of it. But current format, yes, I think like so. Oh, you're a conference champion, you get in, but you're going to have to play the best non-first round. Like that doesn't. I don't know where the thinking with that was, but I do think that there's been some things happen already that during the off season they'll go and look at it and they'll probably tweak it a little bit. It's the first year of it. With any time you put something new in, you got to tweak it a little bit. They'll make some changes, I'm sure, and I think that'll be one of them as far as that fifth seed. But again, I also think that they'll probably look at getting rid of that. They automatically are the first 4. 1 through 4 just because they won conference champions and they automatically get the first round bye. Right. The reward for being a conference champion gets you in, but that doesn't automatically give you the reward of you get a week off the first round.
I agree.
All right, well, let's go into segment 2, and of course we'll talk. We send your questions, we'll answer them all show long. Segment 2, kind of a quick segment before we head to halftime. Women's basketball. We're going to talk with women's basketball beat writer, and we'll put the emphasis on beat as in beat down. Sam Baisden. Last night, the ladies got stomped out by UConn, and they've had some difficulties this season as far as playing. They played a really good schedule so far. So, as far as their difficulties are concerned, Sam, how much of it is due to the youth of this team, and how much is it because of their schedule strength?
It's a combination of both. I don't want to put too much on the strength of schedule because, like, let's start off with the Oklahoma game. They were up, I want to say, by 9 in that fourth quarter.
I thought it was over.
And they end up losing by 6. So it was youth. I know Olivia Cochran got fouled out, so that kind of hampered things on the defensive end and the offensive end. So, and then we rely on a lot of freshmen. Jada Curry had a big fourth quarter. Olivia Cochran had a great game all around. She just didn't play she just didn't play a lot due to foul trouble at the end of the game. So that kind of hurt Louisville. It's growing pains. And if you watch Coach Waltz on the sideline, he has the same but a different demeanor in a sense, because he knows that he's trying to build, and he's doing a lot of teaching these first couple months of the season. You heard him say it. I think he said it yesterday. Is they're trying to play fast. They want to play fast, but they're not grasping the concept yet, and that happens when you have a team full of freshmen and you have a few new players too. So, like I said, they lost 78-72 at home to number 4th. No, can't remember. But
no, they were top 10. So they've lost to top 10 Oklahoma,
and then
they lost to 4th ranked UCLA, right? Or were they 3rd ranked?
They were in the top 5. UCLA.
I think they were 3.
And then UConn blew their back doors off. Who was the 4th loss to?
The team up the street.
Never heard of them, but they're ranked as well. They were ranked as well. So 4 losses to 4 ranked teams.
And 3 were kind of on the road. Well, away from the Yum Center. Let me not say on the road.
Okay.
3 were away from the Yum Center. 1 was a true road game up in Blue Town.
Never heard of them.
But yeah, so like I said, it's a lot of growing pains that has to come through with these freshmen, but you see the potential there. So stay patient. They'll, like I said before, this won't be the same team in March that you see today.
Well, that's what Coach Wall said after the game. First of all, he apologized to everybody in his post game call or on the 93.9. Whoever he talked to, I don't know who it was. He apologized to them. He apologized to Card Nation. He apologized to the tournament who put it on, which they've already been invited back for next year. But he echoed the same thing. This is a young team. He said they've got to figure it out, and they got to figure it out quick because we're about to go into conference play, and it's not going to be any easier. But I mean, the young, we've got a lot of young players on this team, so they're just learning, and they're learning against good competition. Iron sharpens iron. So I think by the time March rolls around, like Sam said, this will be a totally different team, And that's what Coach Ball has asked for. He just said, just stay with us. If the things that he's seen, he said, is youth-based, because like they go through the game plan all week and then they get in the game, they go away from it. And he's asking them, well, why did you do this? Well, I didn't want to get beat. Well, you got to stop worrying about that, because we've got people behind. If everybody's following the game plan, there's somebody on the next level that can pick up that person, to where even if you get beat, it doesn't matter. But by not wanting to get beat, you let this person step out and bang a wide open three. So
Sam, how many teams in the ACC are as tough as the 4 we've already played and lost to? Are there many?
Of course, you have Virginia Tech. You have Notre Dame. NC State is still pretty good, and Duke is as well. I won't knock it. There are teams in the ACC that we'll lose to that we're not supposed to, and it's based
nature
on
of the ACC.
Yeah, but I would say right now, you of course you have Virginia Tech, NC State is always real tough, and Notre Dame. Those 3 right there I would definitely put ahead of Louisville, just based on their pure talent and experience.
So more than likely, this team's going to enter the NCAA tournament with close to double-digit losses.
Yes. Yeah.
So in your opinion, is this, or can this be a tournament team still? Can they get things together before it's too late? Or with them being so young, do you think we'll see an effect like we did on the men's side, where once things got to be too much, not this year's men's team, but in prior years, we won't talk about that guy again. The Satterfield, or not the Satterfield, the Craig Thorpe, rest in peace, of the basketball court, different Coach K.
No,
is their youth going to force them into a headspace to where this just snowballs?
No, I don't think that will happen, because for one, the guy on the sideline, he's too experienced, he's too great of a coach to allow it to happen. Then also you have players like Olivia Corcoran, Marissa Russell, Jada Curry, and Jalea Williams. They're experienced. Jalea Russell is a transfer from Miami, who's won at Miami. Of course, Olivia Corcoran and Marissa Russell has been here the last 4 years. This is their 5th year. So they're experienced in winning and playing tough games and things like that. So if that starts to happen, you'll see the coaching staff rely more on their senior leaders to come up, step up, and try to take control. And so it won't happen that way, like I say, mainly because of the man on the sideline. He's too great of a coach to allow that to happen.
You meant Jalea Williams, right? You said Jalea Russell.
No, I thought I said Marissa Russell.
You said Marissa Russell, then you said Jalea Russell.
Oh, no, it's Jalea Williams.
So we look forward to better product on the court for women's basketball. We really think that will happen. Men's basketball, wearing the new Wes Unseld jerseys today. We've had them before in the past, I believe, once or twice. I think Joey even had one. It's the all-white one.
I have one.
Do you? Beautiful, beautiful colorway. Can't wait to see that. 5-star guard Mikal Brown on campus today, and has, since he stepped foot on campus, have received 2 crystal balls to Louisville. Hoping that will be the first commit of the I almost said Keith Kelsey, Pat Kelsey era. If Keith Kelsey can bring some guys in, we need to bring him in too. That's something to watch out for. We're not going to talk that much about today's game because we're playing a really good team in Duke, and we've just lost a bunch of players and not sure how we're going to play without them just yet. But according to one of the experts in our group chat, there is a 5-star guard that we're looking to add after the Christmas break too, from, was it Italy?
Yeah,
I believe so.
That was the speculation.
Yeah, that's the spec from our recruiting expert Dalton Pence, that we have a guy that we're looking at that we might bring in mid-season. So that's exciting. What we're going to do is we're going to head to the commercial break really quick. When we come back, hopefully we have our bowl destination verified at that time. If we don't, we're going to tell you who we think is going to be the matchup and give you some tips about them and stuff. Hang tight with us really quick. This is the Cardinal Sports Zone podcast. Do your job, Shawn. Shout out to all of our fine sponsors, the Collision Course Crew Tailgaters. It's time. Located behind the El Nepal at 2745 Crittenden Drive. They're set up there all football season for the home game. Shout out to Bill, Garrett, Rhino, Craig, Kevin, Doc, and the crew. Rest in peace, Corrito, for a great time. Hit up the Collision Course Crew tailgaters. Four Pegs Beer Lounge, where every week is either Wings Day or the Ribs Day. On Wings Day, $20 all you can eat jumbo smoked wings and $1.25 per wing all day long. On the Ribs Day, come get the best ribs in the Ville for just $25 all you can eat or $2 a bone all day long. Fitness Market. Contact our fine friends at Fitness Market to find out how they can furnish your dream at-home gym. From treadmills to saunas to weights, they have you covered. Planet Fitness. Shout out to Planet Fitness and Rick Cooper for helping us look sharp on the sidelines this summer. Great monthly deals for memberships as well. Check your local listings for a location near you. Cherry Pickin', a hoops-themed cold-pressed juice and smoothie bar inspiring you to take what's good. Conveniently located at 828 East Main Street behind the local seltzery. Tell them CSZ sent you for 15% off your total order. Shoot 360, a premier state-of-the-art basketball training facility with highly skilled trainers. Call 515-6556 and sign up today. Great value all around. And if you go to shoot360.com, you can pre-register for a free workout. Come to Shoot 360, the world's most advanced basketball training facility. Rally House. Check out our friends at the Jefferson Mall. Lisa, Dee, Rico, Amanda, and the crew. Tell them Cardinal Sports Zone sent you. They'll make sure you get taken care of really well. Rally House. Our house, your house, Rally House. Local stuff. Last but not least, our fine friends at Mossy Oak and Hart Properties. If you are in the market to buy or sell farms, land, recreational, or residential areas in the state of Kentucky, let Paul or one of their team of professionals at Mossy Oak and Hart Realty help you out with all your buying and selling needs. Call Paul at 270-537-4422 or email him at pthomas@mossyoakproperties.com. Mossy Oak, we know land. Now back to you guys. Welcome back to the Cardinal Sports Zone podcast, and I'm sorry I'm at like a million level degree volume there. I'm your host, Jeremy Wyman, here with Joe Wyman, Sam Baisden, and Shawn Barbour. I'm going to try and make him sound a little fancier each week. Don't forget that we have our YouTube subscriptions. If you go in, you get extra access to us. It takes out a monthly fee. A monthly payment from your account, and it helps us run the stuff we have here so we can do more shows. We want to be able to entertain you all more, come up with more concepts, have a good time. So make sure you go to that. You don't even have to remember to do it every month. It takes it out. So I knew it was going to get to me. It takes it out for you. So make sure you are subscribed to us on YouTube. Let's go to the segment that is sweeping the nation. It is the hottest segment on YouTube. It is Shawn's Did he get some action segments? I'm very interested in seeing what went on this weekend.
No.
All right. Well, one of these days, we're going to play that. It's going to be a surprise, and things are going to go.
Never going to happen.
I do think it
Don't
is.
speak that.
Never going to happen.
We're going to pitch in and get Shawn one of those real dolls. And that still counts, don't it? Does it count?
Shawn, do you have iPhone?
Yeah.
Remember on Big Bang Theory, Rajesh started a relationship with his iPhone with Siri.
Hey, Siri, call me Daddy. Okay, Daddy.
BDS.
Don't forget SpencerStan.com. Go to SpencerStan.com. That helps support our men's basketball player, Spencer Legg.
Get off your phone.
He's looking for the app you were talking about.
Got a date tomorrow night.
If you go to SpencerStan.com, it'll explain to you his journey as being a type 1 diabetic athlete. And it also has some NIL stuff to where you can help support him. And it's going to a really good cause in helping out in those studies. You can choose from 3 packages. You can choose, I think, an hour virtual hangout with them. You can go practice at the Cooper Center with them for 2 hours. Or for 3 or however long it lasts, you can choose the game day experience, and you get to hang out with the team before the game, after the game. You get premium seats during the game, and it's a great time. There are limited dates still available. People are taking these up like it ain't nothing. We need to figure out a day we all want to go and do. I don't know if they'd let us do it since we're media-ish.
I'm not.
Well, yeah, you're on the show. You're a media. Yeah.
Not until I have my
I didn't say
SiriusXM radio show.
I didn't say meteor. I said media.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I resign. Then I'll start back after the game.
There you go. So the rumors are there was a little smoke about this yesterday, but now, well, it's still going to be smoke until we get the official email and notification from the greatest football SID in the world, Mr. Rocco Gasparo. But it looks like Louisville will be playing Washington in the Sun Bowl in El Paso, Texas. U of L did finish the season 27th ranked in the AP and 28th ranked in the Coaches Poll. Didn't move from last week at all, which I thought we had a chance to move in. Sorry. Washington ended up the season 6-6, and I know what y'all are thinking. Why are we playing a Big Ten team in an ACC versus Pac-12 game? Well, for the next couple seasons, in order to help out the Pac-12 allotment of bowls, the bowls weren't able to choose which teams could stay and leave. So when they all left, there was a deal made to where some of the Pac-12 legacy teams could fill the Big Ten, could fill the Pac-12 spots that are in other conferences. So this is a technically this is ACC versus Pac-2, but literally it is ACC versus Big Ten, and I like it. I think Washington's always been a bowl opponent I've wanted. Washington has scored 270 points this year. They've given up 274, so it's about 22 points per game that they score and give up. They give up 190 yards rushing per game, which is our strong suit. They only give up 180 passing yards. They're going to get theirs that day, hopefully. Now, we're going to assume throughout this whole conversation that nobody opted out, which that's not going to be the case. People are going to opt out. I would hate for, even though I would understand it, I would hate for us to play this bowl game without Tyler Shuck or without a couple of with Ja'Cory Brooks. I would hate that. I don't know what, with NIL going on now, does Isaac Brown and Duke Watson sit out the bowl game so they can protect their body going into next year? I don't know.
If they do that, who's our running backs?
Well, I mean, technically Don Chaney and Keywan Brown, they've entered the portal, but
I would assume
they're
that,
still on the team.
I would assume that everybody that's entered the portal is not going to play.
Right. I mean, you would assume
that would be my thought process.
Yeah, 'cause I thought once they officially enter, they cut all ties from the school until
I don't
decide
know
to come back.
I'll be honest with you. I don't know how that works.
I think Tyler Shuck against Washington, he's already played against them probably before with his time at Oregon. So even if he didn't play, like him on the sideline giving us information on how they play would be awesome.
Absolutely. +3 turnover rate. I'm turning. Hate it. +3 turnover rating. Look, the thing is when we first started doing this, we were in the hot basement, right? And then we did it in that did the show in that small computer room in the basement, and that was even hotter. Then we started doing it upstairs in the kitchen for a while.
That was comfortable.
And it was comfortable. I knew in order for us to do it up here, I had to get a ceiling fan installed, which I did, and get the air conditioner fixed, which I did. Well, now it works too well. Or it don't work. It don't work well enough.
I'd rather be cold.
Well, I would rather be cold, but that's when you got this big fan blowing straight down on you, it makes you yawn. Bless you.
Pardon me.
Okay, so
I know which word Jeremy heard between Yanni and whatever the other word was.
Yanni who?
You know what I'm talking about?
Oh.
Which word do you hear? The right brain, left brain thing?
Yeah.
It was Yanni and whoever.
I don't remember.
I don't either.
I heard Yanni every time, but
I did too. +3 turnover rating. That bodes well for us. Will Rogers averaged 223 yards passing per game, 14 touchdowns, 7 picks in 11 games. After his 11th game, he entered the transfer portal. So he set out the 12th game, but he came back. So he took his name out of the portal. I think that's what it is. You put your name in the portal, you're not cut off until the portal window closes.
Yeah. When you're in the portal, you're basically a free agent. So you're not tied to a team.
Right.
Then you got to make your decision. You go back or go to a new team.
Right. So you don't lose all your benefits just because you're in the portal. You lose them if you stay in the portal. But anyway, decided to go back to Washington. They got a 1,000-yard rush. It's like 1,011 yards. And Jonah Coleman. They've got 2 wide receivers with over 750 yards receiving, which is pretty impressive. Their kicker is 18 for 26 from the 3-point line, which comes up to be 69%. Nice. It also, I think, bodes well for us as far as them getting to scoring range. I think we're going to be able to force them to a lot more let's go for it type situations. Let's assume that nobody, my bad. Top 3 tacklers are linebackers or secondary people. They've got a total of 20 sacks, which is not that many. They've got 8 interceptions and 6 fumble recoveries. They force a lot of fumbles, but they don't recover a lot of fumbles. Let's assume that nobody opts out. Sam, you are the football beat writer, so I'm going to roll with you first on this. What do we need to do to win against Washington?
I would have said run the ball, but I'm going to go more with utilize our receiving depth. I think with this type of offense, and like you say, no one opts out, we have the opportunity to throw the ball all around the football field and put up some points here. On the defensive side of the ball, it's a little tricky. We've been really good when it comes to shutting down the run, making it difficult for teams to run on us. So I'll stick with that formula. Make it real difficult for them to run because, like you said, they have a 1,000-yard rusher, which means that they rely on him heavily. So I would make it real hard for him to run the ball up the middle on stretch zone plays, things like that. And then you could force him into third downs where if Coach Ron English wants to do anything, he could be a little bit more exotic with his split schemes and things like that, and then allow the playmakers on the defensive side of the ball to go ahead and make plays like they did in the last 2 games. So that would be my 2 things that I would say right there.
Shawn?
I think that they need to utilize the running backs in the passing game a little more, especially Isaac Brown. Get him out in space, throwing some passes out in the flat and let him make some moves and try to, because what I'm hearing is Washington's defensive line isn't great. That's what I heard out of those stats. But it also tells me run the ball as well, though. Like, basically, your running back should be the focal point of this offense coming into the game.
You have 2 running backs left, Shawn.
Oh, no. We're saying assume nobody opts out. So even though they're in the portal, that's what you were saying, right, Jeremy? Even though they're in the portal, they could still play the bowl game until the portal window closes.
Correct.
Yeah, so I just think you use your best players. Your best players are the running backs.
And obviously, we'll know more as when we review the bowl game next week, we'll have a little bit more information.
And Chaney and Turner and Keywan, they didn't really have that many stats this year. So, like, those 2 running backs, look, until those 2 guys aren't at Louisville anymore.
Yeah.
Every game that you say, what do we need to do to win the game? Run the ball. Run the ball. Run the ball. Limit their possessions. Run the ball. You sprinkle in the play action passing where you can, get chunk yards, but you wear their defense out.
Now, I will say this. It obviously depends on the game. Like what Washington's game plan is, they're loading the box to stop the run, then you got to pass. I mean,
well, but you still run the ball.
Yeah, you still try to
run the ball to
Shawn,
set up the pass, and you don't know anything about. Well, no, he knows.
Take away. What do you know about loading the box?
And then, defensively,
he knows about getting shut down.
Defensively, just don't give up any big plays. Don't.
We'll take that.
Oh wow,
big fella pick.
Yeah.
Is that Keanu? Yep,
Keanu Benton.
Yeah, don't give up any big plays though defensively. That would be because that's kind of where our losses were plays that were big plays, either over the top in the passing game, or I don't know about their running back. I didn't hear if he was much of a runner. I doubt he is. So I don't think you have to worry about that.
Who? Washington?
Yeah.
He got 1,000 yards rushing.
Oh, well, then that's a little scary.
It's 80 yards a game.
Yeah.
Maybe
average 80 yards.
That's a little scary. Then you're gonna have to spy him. Then
You limit the possessions though.
yeah,
Like if we run the ball effectively, and we limit their amount of possessions, all we got to do is stop them 3 or 4 drives,
Mhm.
and we win the game.
yeah. I just worry because I
We're
remember
a
the SMU
superior
game.
team. We're a
Yeah.
superior team.
We
to
should
Washington.
win. It depends on we should win the game.
We're superior. They
handle
finished
it.
a spot behind Rutgers.
Yeah.
Sam, what do we need to do to win this game versus Washington as things stand now?
Oh, I just said it. Stop the run.
He went first.
Oh, he went
Yeah.
first. Sean, then you just went now.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I was taking care because for some
No,
reason
we-
my photographers waited till 4 hours before the game to tell me they need a parking pass for tonight. So I was taking care of that. I apologize. What I meant to say was, Sam, what can we not do?
Assuming
Everybody's there.
everyone's there, turn the ball over. This is a team that we can't stop. They're not going to put up a lot of points on Louisville unless Louisville helps them, like we did against Notre Dame. We cannot get too far behind on this team because they do love to run the ball, and they'll find different ways to run the ball. So we can't help them in terms of turning the ball over.
Sean, just a quick sentence or two.
I would say once again, kind of reiterating what I said on defense, don't give up big plays. Don't give up. If you don't give up big plays, you're going to win the game, I think.
Pass interference on Greg Newsome. That gives
Turnovers. I mean,
Same
like
thing.
what I said, limit their possessions, and that goes hand in hand with that. If you're turning the ball over, you're giving them more. So hold on to the ball, make smart decisions, and don't turn the ball over.
I think, and I agree with y'all's points, but I think for me, what can we not do? We cannot start out slow. We have to push the tempo. We've got to play Louisville football. We can't. Oh, nice. Sorry, we're watching a football game. Y'all know this by now. Got to push the tempo. Once the foot's on the gas, we cannot push it over to the brake. We just got to blow these dudes out and get ready for next season, which we hope is the season we can build on. We're already hearing some rumors about quarterbacks coming in, some that we like, some that people are like, oh no. I'm still getting a lot of Jack Plummer slander, which is not allowed because
10 games.
led us to 10 wins, despite or because, however you want to put it. Russell Wilson for the first down. Tough. Segment 4, rapid fire. Number 22, Louisville Cardinals could not overcome number 2, UConn in an 85-52 smackdown in the Women's Champions Classic Saturday night at the Barclays Center. Freshman Amari Berry led the Cardinals with 10 points. The number one, let's talk about this a little bit because I know Joey watched it. I don't know if Sam and Shawn did, but the volleyball game last night.
I watched 3 points.
You watched
and
9.
turned it over. I turned it off because I'm superstitious.
Mhm.
Not just a little superstitious, but superstitious.
Super.
So I was like, I'm going to do my part, and I'm going to turn it back off.
Okay. I'm sure they appreciate that.
Touchdown.
They should.
For me, I watched the whole thing on the ride home, so it was pretty awesome. And for them, there were probably 5 or 6 times after both teams had hit 15 that they went up 1 point and then immediately served it right into the net or out of bounds. So that would naturally tie us up. Then we get a point, and then we'd make them. It was such like if you want to if someone were to tell me they'd never watched college volleyball before and they wanted to watch a game to get acclimated with it, I don't think there's a better example of a volleyball game than the one last night. It had everything that you wanted out of volleyball. I thought for a second that we were going to screw up the dream, which was hosting. We get the unusual distinction of being able to play at the Yum Center throughout the tournament as long as we keep winning.
Actually, they play because I thought that the same thing, but they're actually playing at Freedom Hall the next
We
2.
get to play in Louisville.
Yeah, we get to play.
Yeah,
in Louisville.
we get to play in the city of Louisville throughout the tournament. Thanks, Shawn, for being a douche and trying to correct me.
Home game. It's still a home
We
game.
get a home game throughout the rest of the tournament, and I thought that we were going to mess that up last night, and we did not. Purdue's a tough team. It's not going to be they're probably a little bit tougher than UNI, in my opinion. It's going to be a tough match. It's not going to be a rematch like last year or earlier in the season. We defeated UNI 3-0, and last night they took us to the limit And that's going to happen after you learn a team. You've got film on that team. You played them. You're going to be able to tighten it up. And they were last night. Hats off to them. So that means I think that our regional final opponent would either be Purdue, Stanford, and I don't remember who Stanford's playing.
We've won 2 games or 1?
2.
So we're in the Sweet 16 now.
Correct.
Okay. 2. So we got 4 more opponents.
So it'd
and
be
then we hang
Purdue.
a
We're in
banner.
the Elite 8. I'm trying to figure out. Sean's looking it up. Who our possibilities for Elite 8 opponents are? It's not Purdue. It's either Stanford or who's Stanford playing, Shawn?
Actually, we are playing Purdue next round.
I know that. That's what I
And
said.
then, after that, it'd be Stanford or Florida.
Florida. Okay, so Stanford or Florida stands in
That's
our
the
way.
3 teams that stand in our way of a Final Four.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
And the 3 teams that we've already played this year, probably.
We've not played Purdue. No, I don't know.
No.
We played
I'm
Stanford.
I'm saying in the Final Four, like the other number 1 seeds.
for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We'll go over that a little bit more next week as long
That's
as we're
strength of
still in it.
schedule there.
Stanford, Pitt, and who's the other one?
It'll be somebody It's normally 3 of the teams are from our
Nebraska.
conference, and then you get a Nebraska, Penn State, or Wisconsin, something like that.
A juggernaut.
But they did beat Northern Iowa 20. Lost the first set 28-26, won the second one 25-22, lost 23-25, won 25-13. Absolutely slapped the piss out of them in the 4th set, and then won by 22-20 in the 5th set. It is the highest score in school history for a 5th set. It has never went that far ahead. The University of Louisville track and field, and good luck to them against Purdue. When is that game? I would assume at the end of the week, like Thursday or Friday. I'll let him look that up.
It is on December 12th, sometime 30 minutes after the first game, which starts at 7.
Okay, December the 12th. So that is Thursday. U of L track and field teams both competed in their first meet of the 24-25 season with 6 distance runner towing the line. Why? Toning the line at the Sharon Collier Danville season opener. The Cardinals saw 4 student athletes post times that ranked amongst the top 10 in school history, led by Jeffrey Kerwa's record-setting performance in the men's 5,000 meter. In his indoor debut, Kerwa set a new Louisville freshman record in that event with a time of 13 minutes and 46 seconds that shattered the previous top mark of 14 minutes and 4 seconds. Don't know that would be shattered. It's what, 18? It might be. I don't know. That was set in 2021 by Shadrach Kapolsky. The time also places Kerwa only 5 seconds off the Louisville program record, while currently ranking him 3rd on the all-time list. U of L running back Isaac Brown was named the ACC Rookie and Offensive Player of the Year. Well, that's awesome. I knew that, but I didn't know it, if you know what I mean. The office announced on Wednesday, which we put a story up on CardinalSportsZone.com. Brown, a true freshman, is the first player in school history to capture both of the top Rookie of the Year awards. So is that rookie? So he won Rookie of the Year and Offensive Rookie of the Year. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Because Higgy didn't put it that way. He made it seem like that's why I was kind of thrown aback a little bit. I was like, Isaac Brown won the ACC Offensive Player of the Year award. No, Higgy, he didn't. But he is the first player in school history to capture both of the league's top Rookie of the Year awards. U of L placed 2 players on the 2024 National Field Hockey Coaches Association All-West Regional Teams, as announced by the organization today. Amy Plum was selected to the first team, while Izzy Bianco, wonder who she's related to, Shawn. You recognize the name? Izzy Bianco?
No, I do not.
Is he not Bianco? I don't know.
You don't remember Ben Bianco that played for
Oh
us?
my God, yes, I do.
And then his dad was like the head coach at LSU, something like that. One of those teams down there. U of L's football program had 12 Cardinals recognized with 13 all ACC honors, the conference office announced on Tuesday. Hickey seems to get a lot of emails from the conference offices that I'm unaware of. Wide receiver Ja'Cory Brooks was the lone player on the first team, while Isaac Brown, Ashton Gelati, and Quincy Riley were on second team. Tyler Shuck, Monroe Mills, Michael Gonzalez, Pete Nigra, Ramon Purrier, Stanquan Clark, Corey Thornton, and Brock Travelstead were all named honorable mention. Brown was also tabbed honorable mention as an all-purpose performer. U of L quarterback Tyler Shuck was named one of the 12 semifinalists for college football's 2024 Comeback Player of the Year award. I think this is his 4th year in a row winning it. Yeah, that's all we got for right now in the miscellaneous. We're gonna go to the chat line really quickly and get caught up there.
JJ Watt in the building.
Yeah, up in the suite.
Looking smooth with the Steelers.
I think we need to get him on board.
Yeah.
Please support our photographers out there. Keith Russell, Jeff Nunn, TJ Barr, Justin Kruger. Got the best photography team in it. Now, honestly, every other site only has 1 or 2. I've got 4 all-stars, so just by proxy, that gives me the best, but they're all amazing people and amazing photographers as well. If you've been following the Cardinal Sports Zone Instagram page, Keith has taken over that, and he's been putting all kinds of awesome edits of his current photos on there, and it's really cool. Make sure you're following Cardinal Sports Zone on Instagram today. Tune into our show Sundays at 1 p.m. Stay tuned to our social media and subscribe to us on YouTube or Facebook to be alerted anytime we go live, even though we prefer the YouTube. You can find the audio version on over 125 podcast avenues in all Apple, iTunes, Buzzsprout, Spotify, TuneIn, Google, Amazon, or iHeart. Hit subscribe, along with many more. Hit subscribe, like, heart, or whatever it is Shawn does on Saturday night. To make sure that these episodes all get downloaded to your PC. Shawn's doing it right now. I don't know why he wasn't already subscribed. They'll download straight to your phone or your PC, wherever you go to subscribe to them from. If you haven't listened to all the prior episodes of the Cardinal Sports Zone podcast, it's easy. Go back to cardinalsportszone.com, the place it all began. Check them all out. Check our exclusives out on cardinalsportszone.com. Go to the podcast tab on cardinalsportszone.com. Go down to CSZ Podcast to listen to our newer stuff, the stuff over the last 5 years. Anything that was pre-93.9 will be under archives. It's all worth listening to. If you don't have anything to do and you want something to listen to while you're working on a project, throw the archives on. Thanks to everybody out there sharing the podcast. We appreciate you guys. Marcus and Maven, Steve Rummage, we want to acknowledge you guys for doing the Lord's work Monday through Friday from 10 to noon on ESPN 93.9 The Ville. Thanks to Dan and Mark up at the 502 Circle. We appreciate them, giving them a shout out. Our guy Dalton Pence, not sure how the around the ACC is going for the rest of the year. I think he may be done for the with football being over with. I think he may be done until the first of the year. I don't know that for sure. So stay tuned on Fridays at noon. We'll drop that if it's coming out. Where can people find you guys on social media, Sam?
Baseboy124.
Shawn, not your Farmers Only username either this time.
At Elville Shawn.
Joey?
Joe Wallman 526.
And I am Jeremy _CSZ. Let's go to the chat. Quentin says, yo. He says, so Mikael Brown is in Louisville for the game today. How are we feeling about that? I am feeling locked in. No pun intended. Pun intended. Whatever. Or locked on, however you want to put it. I don't want to step on anybody's feet, though, with the locked on reference. So, sorry, DP. Last words. Sam, we're going to go with you first on this one.
Go Cards. We need a big win. No, sorry. Need a good performance today at Duke. A win would be pushing it over the top, but a good performance playing Duke today. Stick with the Lady Cards. They're gonna get better, and let's hope for some good positive vibes today with the young man on campus today.
What's the score of the what will be the score of the Louisville Duke game in your opinion? I'm going to ask that along with the last words. Your score prediction.
You want my head or my heart?
No, I want you to, for everybody to hear, Louisville by or Duke by. Don't have to give me an exact score.
Duke by 10.
Okay. Shawn, your last words?
I don't care if we've lost the last 2 games in the Yum Center by 32 or 22 or whatever the hell it was. It's Merkin season in the Ville.
Okay.
They're going to beat Duke by 5.
Oh.
All right.
Okay. Joey?
I know it's tough, right?
I'm just gonna say Louisville by 1. I mean, because I hope they win.
KP didn't mind if we won by
I
one
don't
or
like.
lost.
I've never cared if we win 1-0 or 80-0, whatever. It doesn't matter. 80-79 is still a win.
Right.
Now I'll take Louisville in a point. Maryland's still trash. I don't really have a whole lot of trash this week because most things fell the way.
I know the college football playoff committee was going to be trash if they left SMU.
That would have. Oh yeah, there would have been. That'd have been trash until next September. I'd have said that every week. Smooth deserved to be in, and now they're in. And do your thing, Smooth. There was something I can't even think of what it is now. But so it doesn't really matter. But Maryland's always there for me.
Absolutely.
To be trash. I don't know why George Pickens is out, so that's kind of trashy. Not him and not the Steelers, but just the fact that he's not on the field right now.
Thank goodness you mentioned that before the game, or Sam would have been taking a big L this week in fantasy football.
Well, it wasn't just him. Who else was it? I said, or no, you seen somebody else on the ticker. It was Brees Hall. Yeah. Yeah, you're welcome.
You're welcome.
That's it.
You got it? All right.
Sure.
My last words for the afternoon are simply just this. Shout out to my college quarterback, Chris Redman, and our guy, Hunter Cantwell, for leading the Christian Academy Centurions to 3 straight state titles. I told Chris we were the reason for that. He didn't 4 seasons ago. He wasn't on our show at the beginning of the year. For the last 3 years, he has been. All jokes aside, that's pass interference. Yeah, we pushed off. No, that's on us. I believe, unless there was something I didn't see.
Yeah,
that's not an easy feat to do. Other than Trinity and St. X doing it when I was growing up, I don't. And of course, there was only one class. Well, maybe there wasn't just one class when we were growing up. It's just the only one that mattered. Oh yeah, that's right. 4.
We were 4A.
That's right.
4 classes.
That's right. But difficult unless you're one of the teams that. Oh, he fell down. Ooh. We'll hurry up and get off here so we can watch the game. Not an easy feat to do at any level. So congrats on the 3-peat. I don't know what his future entails because his son was a senior this year. Maybe he was just coaching with him while his son was there. I don't know. We'll have him on next week to talk.
Could be somebody's replacement as offensive coordinator.
For the last time, you're not an offensive coordinator.
No, I'm talking about if Brian gets a head coach job.
Oh, okay.
If his son's going to be gone, I mean, wouldn't be a bad replacement. Somebody that's won 3 state titles and was one of the best quarterbacks.
Was the coach? He won a couple as a player too.
Yeah.
So
I mean, just a little, and hopefully, I always want everybody to better themselves. So if that's what Brian's wanting as a head coaching job, then I hope he is able to secure one. One last thing, our cousin had surgery Friday morning. Successful at this point kidney transplant. So shout out to our cousin, remain nameless.
Oh, Renee. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know her name was nameless.
Yeah, it is right now.
Okay.
But get well.
Shout
soon.
out to Remain.
Yeah, get well soon. And Nameless's spouse is the one who donated. So shout out to them as well. Both, I believe, the donator is home and the recipient is either going home today or maybe tomorrow. So pretty quick turnaround now.
You already had your last words. These were my last words.
Well, I remembered.
Okay, fair enough.
I was actually going to say something about it when you was talking about Spencer Stan because the diabetic thing.
Gotcha. You saw a nickel on the floor and forgot about it or something?
No, Steelers are playing.
That's fair.
That's a catch, but it's short.
Short. Okay, sorry. Was unfocused there, and I forgot what my last words were now.
You saw a nickel?
Yeah, I did. I saw a nickel. But yeah, shout out to Chris, and then we'll have him on next week. if his schedule permits, and we'll talk to him a little bit about it. We'll see what his next steps may be. And I don't have anything else right now, so I'm gonna go check on the chat line, and if it is clear. Quentin wants to know how we feel about Mikael Brown. I feel like Mikael Brown is I think he's going to be the first commitment of the Pat Kelsey era, and I think that's going to happen. I would hope it happened today.
Today, that's what I'm hoping to.
I don't think.
But normally when they go on visit, I don't think he leaves campus without a silent verbal or a verbal, because that's another thing for kids like that. They'll give a verbal, but they'll be like, "I don't want nobody to know yet." And that's very common practice in basketball and football to give silent verbals. So
wasn't he on campus already once?
He has been here before. Yeah. That was the time where they had that big get together at his hotel to welcome him in. Him and his family, great people. Oh, I remember what my last shout out was going to be. I had a great day yesterday down in the country visiting with relatives. Shout out to them. My cousin Jonathan Williams. He was the one that used to do the podcast, but he quit. So shout out to him for quitting. I got to watch all three of his. Got to watch two of his three daughters play basketball yesterday. The only reason it wasn't all three is because Chloe's game didn't start till 45 minutes later. So by the time her game was over, they don't play as long as quarters. So missed Catherine's game, but got to watch Chloe. Got to watch Carrie Ann. I got to watch them beat the crap out of Carrie Ann, and I think it's very difficult when you're the star of the team at 6'4", 6'5", whatever you are, and everybody else on your team's like 5'2". That's hard because they can't get the ball to you at the right. There was a lot of times yesterday, and I'm not blaming the teammates. Well, I am, but like when they didn't throw the ball up high enough for her, or they threw it too early or too late. So she did commit to Campbellsville last week. Now, I haven't heard this from anybody down there. That might be she's just where she's going to go. She's a junior in high school. She still has a whole 2 seasons left, basically.
Mm-hmm.
She may play her stock up a little bit, but our family's the type of family that if they give their word, that's as good as gold. So it may not matter. Campbellsville might end up getting them a 4 or 5 star major league, major conference player there. So shout out to all of them. And I had a great time. My dad wasn't too talkative yesterday, but we hung out.
Now, from what I understand, he just laid there.
I felt like there was some beef going on between him and Mamaw because they did not a word. They didn't.
Gave the silent treatment.
Gave her the silent treatment.
Yeah.
It was kind of rude. We drove all the way down there, and he wouldn't even talk to us. I even tried to play catch with him, and he just butterfingers, man. Hands of stone. Look, those of y'all that know us know why that's funny. We think it's funny.
He was bored stiff.
He was bored stiff. He really was. Look, guys, we appreciate all you all. Thanks again for all the support. We love you guys. Until next Sunday, this has been the Cardinal Sports Zone podcast. We'll try to have Chris Rebin on with this salute. What is Sam doing? Sam's losing it over there? What? It's Dad's fault. It's not our fault. Bye. See ya.